You are the main character in your story. Hi, this is Liz from Knowledge Return, where we talk about energy and spirituality as a part of our normal everyday experience. And today we're going to talk about you, and you being the main character in your story, in your life. And by making that statement, it's not saying that you go around being some self-centered egomaniac in order to get what you want. This is to say that this life, this existence, is a journey. Your life is your journey and it's your story. And in your story of life, you will experience situations, people, places, and things that teach you about yourself and help you to find yourself. It's also saying that you have more control than you think you have to move your story along. I don't know if people remember back in the day. There used to be those story games where, based on your choice that you made throughout the game, it took you on different paths in the storyline. Now, I know that stories are done like that today, but it was more evident back then when they were creating games that if you picked, door one or door two, the situation or the story changed based on choices you made in the game. In the same way of that story game, the thing about life, it's your story and how you move it along. So in the same way of that game, your life is about the choices you make in order to move your story along. So what are the choices that you're making? Are these choices in alignment with your life journey? Do you even know what your life journey or purpose is? Are you on your path? Or are you being led away from it based on your decisions, distractions, or your choice to follow others? It's hard for many of us to come to terms that we are the main character in our story. Many just see ourselves as another cog in the wheel. Many don't realize how interesting it is to actually be the unique person that we are. We like to watch people being free and authentic and think, I could never do that. Yet you watch with admiration on how free and happy they look. Or are you the person that sees someone being happy and authentic and free and you get upset for how they express themselves? If you're looking at someone else and either admiring them, thinking you could never be that happy and free, or despising them because they've chosen to step out of a box in order to embrace who they are, then you may need to really look at yourself. You are not centering yourself in your story. You're looking at someone else's story. This is an example of what I mean by being the main character in your story. If you view this life as an educational school for the soul, where you play out the big and small lessons as your life experiences, where every choice you make maps out the path to evolving and being a better version of yourself, where some of those choices lead you down a path that has many forks in the road, or some of those paths are dark and uncertain. Some path looks sunny, but may be the long way round. Some will take you way off your path to where you're devolving and becoming a worse version of yourself. Ultimately, these lessons are meant for you to find a way to yourself. To find a way in reminding you that you are the main character in your story. This experience is to remind you that you are the sovereign spiritual being having a human experience. a sovereign being embarking on this journey. And you'll come to find that everything that you search for is already within you. As a side note, for those who don't know tarot and the meaning, without going into detail about what the cards are, as I've come to understand, the cards themselves represent someone embarking on the journey of life, where you learn about yourself from the mind, body, and spiritual perspective, and the actions you take along the way, the struggles and the successes that you pick up along the way, and learning how to overcome your challenges. With all of what the cards are depicting, the tarot cards, it's addressing all the energies that surround our life and how the choices that we make bring us closer or further away from discovering our truth. In expressing ourselves, in balancing our energies, in becoming the masters of our own selves, in reminding us that we are the main character in our story. Even if we are parents with children, or a spouse to someone, or a mate to someone, we are the main character in our story, not the main character in our children's story or our mate's story. And that's for a deeper discussion. Anyway, I found that for me, this life journey led me to finding myself, loving myself, and expressing my authentic self. The challenges, hardships, and struggles led me to going deeper within, to not only console myself, but to strengthen, plan, and learn. I didn't realize at the moment of some of my struggles where I had turned inward for resolution that I was discovering all about myself and how my choices are my own and how they impact my life. I didn't realize how much conditioning was placed on me that I couldn't find who I truly was. So as I turned within, I began to come to terms with me. I was coming to terms with what I was giving up. I was coming to terms with the parts of me I was sacrificing and still feeling lower than before. I was learning that way of being was not me. That way of living was not for me. I was learning how to not only be myself, but to stand up for myself. It's so strange. As I look over my life, most people who encountered me saw me as a strong, Black, intelligent woman. Now, this is not how I viewed myself. This is how people saw me when I asked them. I don't know why, but that view was different than I saw myself. I thought I was a quiet and behind the scenes type of person, especially at work. Apparently not. My work colleagues did not see me as quiet and behind the scenes, regardless of how I saw myself. So I was learning from others' perspective as well as my own. I was learning and experiencing life where I was a leader and empathic at the same time. My work team members were respectful and loyal to me, and I cared for them, and I cared what happened to them. This type of personality translated to my work and social life. It translated to my home life, but to a certain extent. I was still this strong, Black, intelligent woman who, when in the home, I gave up my power. I gave up my strength. I gave up a piece of who I was in order to be a side character in someone else's story. I thought this was what you do in certain relationships in order to maintain peace and compromise. Everything in my being fought against such a belief. And that's probably why the relationship was an internal as well as external struggle for me. I had to also learn about the character of people. Some people are put in our life, especially those closest to us and in close relationships, to really hone in on you, hone in on us and what we are reflecting or the lesson we need to learn about ourselves. I had to know and see what was taking me out of my character. So when you are in your story of life, you may not always see the part you are playing clearly. You may not understand the implication it has on your life journey and path. You were told that this is how relationships work. Sometimes you compromise and no one wins. Sometimes you have to give of yourself and expect nothing in return. So you live your life in these relationships. Again, life has a funny way in reminding you that you are the main character in your story. And this is all about your journey to discover who you truly are and who you are truly meant to be. One thing I had to realize about my life is that I was never made or designed to feel small or beneath anyone. I was never designed to be controlled. I was not designed to be bound. I was not designed to be taken advantage of. I was not designed to be silenced. Yet, I experienced these things in some of my relationships. I now know that I experienced these things to learn how to balance the negative aspects of being a leader, a teacher, a guide. I had to learn how to feel large and comfortable in my being, yet humble in my approach. I had to learn how to speak up and speak truth when lies are told all around me. I had to learn how to be and live free, authentic, fearless, and unbothered when those around me try to control me or tell me they know what's best for me based on their own story or experience. I had to not only discover my design, but learn how to live in it. So, I say to all of you to remind you that you are the main character in your story. All the choices you make allows you to experience the unfolding of your journey. My hope for all of you is that you discover how to be the best version of yourself that enables you to be free, authentic, to be the love you want to receive, to be the peace in your life, to be creative, to be abundant as you experience and come to know the spiritual being that you are.